Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Crazy Crime Chick coming to you guys with another video. This is actually going to be a premiere video. And what does that mean? Well, I've explained it before, but it just means that what you're looking at right now on the screen, it has been pre-recorded, but we are actually live in the chat to discuss what you're watching on the screen. And I decided to do it this way because we have already done 3 lives when it comes to Nichol Kessinger's second interview. And I don't know about you, but I am ready to wrap up this interview already when it comes to her. Now, just a little recap. Nichol Kessinger was Chris Watts' mistress. If you don't know who Chris Watts is, he was a man who was charged with murdering his pregnant wife, Shanann Watts, and his 2 small children, Bella and Cece. And that happened in August of 2018. So again, at this interview, we have Agent Kobach, Agent Tim Martinez, Nichol Kessinger, and then also Daddy, Mr. Dwayne Kessinger. This interview happened on August 16th. And again, there was a part where it cuts off, and then there's this big old gap of information that wasn't recorded, but we have the transcript for it, and then we have that missing audio. Now, I'm going to only read you a couple of parts in that missing audio where we have the transcripts that I think is important. And then I'm going to go ahead and play the rest of that audio for you guys. And in that audio that I do end up playing, I think it's really interesting what Mr. Dwayne Kessinger tells Agent Kobach. So with that being said, let's get started and wrap up Nichol Kessinger's second interview. So like I said earlier, I'm going to be reading a little bit of the transcripts that are missing the audio that I think are important. Like right here when she talks about the wedding ring and telling him to like pawn it, man. So she starts off by telling Agent Kobach, she says, so another thing, so that was Tuesday and that was it for Tuesday. But I forgot some stuff on Monday that I did need to bring up to you guys. So Monday, when we were on the phone, at one point he mentioned to me, I can't even believe I have to say this. She left her wedding ring here. And I said something along the lines of, does that mean you two are done? And he was like, oh my God. He said, how much do you think it's worth? And I was like, remember him saying that and being like, what the fuck? And I remember thinking to myself, like, I don't even know how to respond to this. And so I was like, I don't know, pawn it, man. And I pawn jewelry all the time. I was like, I pawn jewelry for a few times. I was like, it's not worth shit though. And I was like, so I don't know if you really want to do that. And he's like, no, no, no. I think I'm going to get it appraised. It's a nice rock. And I was just like, okay. And it was like really awkward. And then and then Kobach interrupts her and he says, and that was on Monday. And she says, that was on Monday night. And that to me was like, it was like kind of strange. And then Tuesday line thing, like I'm telling you, it started like Monday night, him saying that. That was why I couldn't sleep. Because he made the comment about the wedding ring. And Agent Kobach's like, okay. So again, this whole conversation right here is Nichol Kessinger and Agent Kobach. So I guess I'll change my voice into a manly voice for Agent Kobach. So you guys can all enjoy that in chat and make fun of me if you want. So right here, she goes on to say, and then Tuesday, her still not coming home, and then him lying to me. And I was just like, oh my God, oh my God. Like, what if something happened? And it was like really hard for me to put when you say what if something happened, what were you thinking? Like, what if somebody took her? Like, what could he possibly hurt her? And that was like the first time I was really, I think, genuinely considered, did this man hurt his wife? And if it was like hard for me to grasp. And I thought about it a lot and I waited for the night cuz I wanted to see if she would come home. And it was already pretty late. And then I had company and I was just like, let me see how this plays out. And my buddy Jim left and I don't know, probably like around 9 or 10, probably just like the same time he always leaves. And then I couldn't sleep then. It was really bad. And I woke up in the morning and I saw the interview that he had with the newspaper, and he looked really different to me. How so? Now, this next part, what she says about Chris is pretty weird. But she says, the white in his eyes is gone. They're like a different color now. It's like he has no soul. I swear to God, I saw it. I was like, just like, look at his eyes. I saw his mugshot. They're not even the same color. Like when you guys retrieve the pictures that are on my phone, look at his eyes, then compare them now. Like it's like scary shit I think I've ever seen in my life. It freaked me out. I was like, that's not even the same man that I know. And it was really uncomfortable. But anyways, I saw that report in the morning and I was just to the point where I was just like, all right, like something happened. This woman is missing. Whether it was him or someone else, I know like a woman went missing not too long ago in Longmont. Like I think it was like 2 months ago or something like that. And you guys, not you guys, but somebody up there called off the search of her. I don't know. I don't think they ever found her. So I was like, I don't know, maybe that's connected. Maybe somebody came and got her. Maybe he did something. I don't know, but I knew like it was a problem. And at that point, I was like, I'm in a very messy situation with this man and I don't know what to do. And so I called my dad cuz he's like the only person that I trust with everything in the world. And I was just like, I have a problem. And I told him everything. And I was like, we just discussed it. And it was like, we need to go to the cops. Definitely. Because I figured you guys would find me eventually. But I was like, I feel they need to speak to me. I feel like I'm a very important person for you guys to communicate with. You are. And so, and again, I wish I have done it sooner, but it was just like, it's just kind of took the sequence of events of his lies and all of his bullshit falling apart for me to process that I needed to address the situation. And so, and the time and so that to me, and another thing, he lied to me and I caught him on Monday night. He was like, "Oh, it was right after the wedding ring thing." He was talking about it. It might have been before. One of the two, I don't know. But he was like talking about how he reflected on North Carolina, and he was talking about how he wanted the separation and all this stuff. And I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I thought you were the one trying to make peace with her, and she was the one who didn't want it. He's like, no, I wanted it. And I was just like, okay. And another thing on Monday night, his breathing was like, it was like his voice would crack sometimes, but I didn't like condemn him for anything like that because I was like, well, yeah, he's probably stressed the hell out. His family's gone, you know what I'm saying? Sure. So I don't know. So that happened and then he never made any omissions to you about anything that he had done. Nope. And he never said anything about doing or at any time, not just in these days, but during your relationship. Did he ever say anything about hurting his wife and his children? Never, never. Did in on these conversations from Monday to Tuesday, did he ever say that somebody did something to them? Or did he ever give an excuse to you how this could have happened? No. I mean, he was other than they just were gone, going to a friend's house. Yeah, or he was like, "Yeah, I think she's like with one of her friends. She doesn't want to talk to me," kind of thing. So, but other than that, no. I mean, like he told me like yeah, she said she was with another man, but I think it was out of spite. Like he never really like held that she was with another dude. Like she never was like, yeah, she's with some guy. Like she said it, but I don't think she meant it. Mhm. It's kind of what he was like directing towards me, but no, I think that's why I gave him the benefit of the doubt so long. Like he was always been such a civil gentleman to me, and he's always been pretty calm and like level-headed when it talks about, like the differences between him and his wife. And I mean, that's a sensitive subject, and he never ever seemed like he was like aggressive about it. I mean, he was just like chill, and he never talked ill of his children. He was always so bubbly about them. Like, those were his babies. So when all this happened, I was just like, what the fuck? And so this brings me to a question real quick. I mean, I don't think anybody over the last 6 or 8 weeks, I know this dude better than you. I really don't. You guys probably spent more time together than anybody. Mm-hmm. Conversations, whatever, relationship. What do you think? What's the catalyst for this event? Have you had known? It's a hard question, but I want to get it out now. If there's a thought that you have that might lead us to understand a little bit why he might have done something like this. Like I said, I met Chris on Wednesday. So I don't know Chris, not like you do. I thought about this, and something I think to myself, if I wasn't in that man's life, would his family still be alive? And I've thought about this a lot, and I think I can give myself different responses. But in all honesty, I think they might be alive, but not permanently. I don't think that this man just snapped. I don't think that he just met some fucking amazing woman and he was just gonna try to fucking murder his family and then think that I was okay with that. Like building a relationship with someone who did that, I was okay with. Like, no. Like, at what fucking point, you know? And not only that, like, I was always trying to say, like, when we get to a point where we're being together long enough, I would love to meet your children. Like, I never discluded them from anything. Like, I remember coming back from the Colorado Springs and I was like, oh my God, they got the Cheyenne Zoo down there. You got to take your kids. And I was like, you can feed the giraffes and they would love it. Like, I always try to show him cool things like, hey man, would your kids like this? Because my nephew would like things like this. Like I sent him a screenshot of some rainbow Lucky Charms the other day, and I was like, do your daughters know about these? Because I bet these are epic. Like little things like that, where it's like genuine, like I care, I do. Like, despite how messy this is and how I'm sure I'm gonna be portrayed in the media and everything, like I care about like the well-being with his children and all of that. And so for me, like when I think of what was he going through in his head, I find it really hard to believe that I am the catalyst for all of this. I will be willing to say that I think me being in his life accelerated what was inevitable about to happen, but I don't think people just snap. Love does not murder, hate and resentment murder. That's the way I look at that. I do not know what is the truth anymore and what's not. I don't have all the details. But this is just my opinion, but I'm pretty convinced that that woman and him did not get along very well. And the reason they stuck together was, hey, we're going to do kids. And I think they also stuck together because they were in a very bad financial bind. And I think that she continuously disregarded it. And I think he messed up because he was too passive to say anything to her about it and really address it. And it just got to a point where it's just like you file bankruptcy and then what do you do? Just wait till you file the next one? I don't know. I don't know what their finances look like now, but from the way it made it sound, it's probably a pretty stark situation. And I don't know, it's hundreds or thousands of dollars in debt over and over and over again are enough to lead a man to want to take somebody out. But I don't know. I've heard of people committing suicide over that shit before, but I don't know. I would never justify what he did. I think it's fucking disgusting. It's like he's such a fucking pig. But I try to be like, why? I try to come up with the why. And I really think that he was just struggling with her really bad. And not only that, he's got a third child on the way. And I know he was probably just like, I can't fucking afford a third kid and wants it, but can't afford it? And he's always told me wanted a little boy. He wanted a third child. Mm-hmm. Know about you guys, but that statement just blew my mind away. When people want to know why didn't Chris divorce Shanann, that is one of the reasons right there. How she says that Chris told her, I can't afford a fucking third kid. You know he said those words to her because she even said that I know it was probably just like, but she said those words. He did say that to her. And she isn't done with bashing Shanann. She goes on to say, and so I think it was just something like, I think they were in a financial situation. And I think she was very non responsive to him trying to like solve problems and like get out of the situation they were in. And I think people just get complacent in what it is. And then, I think he met me. And I think I was like a breath of fresh air for him where it was like he could get away and just be like, like what, like I could be myself and don't have to worry about money right now. Like, and this girl, like, I have my shit together. Like, I got my life. And so, like, my life is like so in order. You seem very organized and independent and dialed in for a 30-year. Always, always. Like, I really do good at. I do really good at work. I have like almost a perfect credit score. I've been saving money for a house. Like, I don't mess around. I mean, I did. I screwed up. This is like my one screw up ever. And it's about to be on like national news. But I'm just very dialed in. And I think it was like a breath of fresh air for him to like be around something like that because I don't think that he knew that that was like a real thing. And he had told me that like numerous times. Like, I didn't know like women like you existed. Oh, fucking make me throw up. I was just like, all right. Like, I don't I when he meant it, it was just just like the way you run your life. And so cuz he had just got married really young, And so to answer your question, I think inevitable it was just going to happen. I think it just got propelled faster. I mean, I don't understand why he would achieve it if he wanted to be with me that bad. What would he would have achieved with me by doing what he did? I think his situation at home was way way deeper than anything him and I ever had, and it led to that. And I don't know what happened in that conversation that they had, but I kind of have a feeling that it wasn't even about her pregnancy or any other man or me. I have a feeling it was about money. So drilling down, you think money? I think it's for him is the biggest downfall. You guys, I mean, beyond the really, I don't know that you know too much about the relationship or particulars just other than monetary issues, financial issues. That sounds like what you guys talked about when you talked about the relationship. Good point, Kovac. I mean, like, he told me other things, like, they really didn't, like, sleep together too much, stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of husbands and wife don't do that. But it was like, well, of course you don't. That's why you're coming to me. No, I think I just was like me being in his life, just push that forward. I honestly think that there's probably a good possibility that this would have just happened, like further down the road, where it would have just got. So did you see that before yesterday or Tuesday, or was that just kind of something that you have reflected on and you thought about this now, going, man, I know now that I see that in this guy, or just because of the lifestyle he was living? And if you didn't get removed from it, this was going to happen sooner rather than later, like you said. If I was to reflect on anything over like the past few weeks, besides like the stuff last few days where you're like, hey, is there like any red flags? I would say like no. But one thing I did notice one time is when we were sitting on my couch, I was like telling him like my house, I have a really beautiful house. Like it's set up like really nice. But everything I have is like from Craigslist or Goodwill. Like I have pieced it together and it's all like markdown stuff, and I have pieced it together in a way like it's a pretty house. But I would never guess that. You would never guess that. Like anything I got is like super discounted. And one day we were sitting on my couch and we were just like bullshitting about some stuff. And I was like telling him like, "Oh yeah, like I got this marked down. American furniture cuz like the corner was dented." And I was like, "I got this off a guy on Craigslist and I put it all," and I was like telling him, I was like, I put it all together. And I was like, to me, I was like, material things don't make a home. I was like, it's the energy and the love that you bring to the home. I was like, it's not about what it looks like. I was like, it's about what you bring to it mentally. And he like collapsed on my lap and gave me like the biggest, most genuine hug I think that man has ever given me. And he just laid there and he was just like, "You are so different." I didn't even say anything. I was just like, I put my fingers in his hair and just like let him chill there. And I assured him that it was had to do with the finances, but he didn't like stress me out. It was just like this relief sign. He just like dropped into my arms and I didn't like really think too much of that event except for that I was like, this was like it was like a really genuine hug, like collapsed into my lap, like just relieved. And I didn't really think much of it until like I started reading about like their bankruptcy and all that other shit. And I was like, oh, so I think it might have even been bigger than he let on because he never told me about the bankruptcy. Then Kovac just says, sure. I feel like this whole thing, Kovac is just like, sure, okay. And then she goes on to say, he just told me about his current financials and he didn't even get that in depth, but I'm assuming they're trashed. And so yeah, I think her spending all that money and not listening to him and him not standing up for himself in a calm and and then her dad gets involved and says, just elevate it. And then Nicole says, yeah, man are just kind of. And then Kobach, last hard question regarding this. Nicole says, go ahead. Kobach asked her. And then I have just two cursory questions regarding something else. And then I think maybe Tim has a few questions for you. But I think what you say about the finances directly at his wife. Do you think that goes to the children as well? Because she took did she treat them like that? Like they were gold and they got everything as well that you know of? Or do you think there's a separate issue for why he may have done what he did to his children other than financial? That part I don't have an answer for. I can't fucking explain that. I don't even think that there is an answer. I don't. I don't even think there's any sort of like computing up here that could possibly give a rational explanation for why that happened. Okay. I mean, the only thing that I've honestly thought of when I play the scenario over in my head is that maybe they woke up and saw him doing in their mom and he was like, fuck. Okay. Oh my God, you guys, did she just say that? How would she know that that happened? Because isn't that what Chris said happened? That Bella woke up? And how the hell is she going to know that's exactly what happened? Listen to her again. I mean, the only thing that I've honestly thought about of when I play the scenario over in my head is that maybe they woke up and saw him doing in their mom. And he was like, fuck. Wow. I can't believe she just said that. And Kobach just says, okay. Now I gotta do this too. I don't know. I'm like, why? Because they were like his like little lifeline. He that was everything to him. And I get like those two have problems, but he had a great relationship with his, but from what your accounting is, he with his kids. He loved his children. Yeah, like I'm like that part is just it's oh my. Like that's the worst part of this whole mess. The worst part of this whole mess. And he won't dwell on it. We don't have to do that. No. let me ask you. Um, but so no, I don't have an explanation. That's the only thing I can possibly plausibly think of is maybe they saw it, but other than that, I don't know what the fuck. Okay, who's Charlotte? Are you asking me who's Charlotte? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like one of my friends? Mm-hmm. She's like a really good friend of mine. Why? Did you have some conversation with her regarding another boyfriend? No. That you might have met on eHarmony? Or did she meet somebody on eHarmony? No, she's gay. She doesn't. Okay, she's engaged. So there's some text messages that we got off your phone, obviously. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I'm asking this is because he found out maybe you had another boyfriend. You understand my line of questioning that looked like maybe you had another boyfriend. And I don't know if that's this gym guy. No. That maybe you guys were no, I'm not saying that he's your boyfriend. That that when we were interpreting the text messages that it seemed like he might, this man came to my house. He has a key to my house that you're saying right now. Oh, when I look at that from my perspective, Jim may be another boyfriend for you. No, 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 no. Charlotte is like my oldest friend. I love that girl. So, did you have a conversation with Charlotte about Jim? I mean, sometimes we talk about him. We're all friends. We did or would, did you guys ever have a conversation about eHarmony? That's the online. I mean, possibly. I was on there for a while, but I didn't actually ever go out on any dates. F with guys from eHarmony. Okay. Not one. Okay. Like, I talked to a couple of guys on there, but I was like, no, I didn't go on any dates. So, the only reason would be another potential reason for him to be upset. No. And he knew about Jim. He's always known about Jim. He's one of my good friends. Okay. So I think it's interesting right now. I didn't even realize it. So it looks like Kobach found some messages between Charlotte and NK that NK is saying Chris was upset because she was possibly talking to somebody else. And we know that Chris said that NK told him allegedly she went on 2 dates and she was stood up by 2 different guys, which I think she was just saying that to him to get him jealous. But it's funny how Kobach thinks it's Jim. So I don't know. I just think that part's pretty interesting. NK goes on to say, and I lay it out at people at the beginning like, I have friends that are male and I have friends that are female. These are my friends. That's what it is. Okay. Like he never to me seemed like jealous of Jim by like any means. So no. I'm curious what text you're talking about with Charlotte. I have like a hun I want to look at that. I talk to that girl so much. I have 153 pages of text messages, so I can't, if I could pull it up, I would, but I don't know where it is. I thought you guys just got my text. We asked for everything. For 7 days, they gave us everything. Oh, so why did you need to just do that if you just had them? Cause I don't know that that they're completely accurate. Again, what they send me is I don't have any way to verify that they're accurate. Gotcha. And if you delete a text message, sometimes those are not retained by carriers. They're still on your handset, but there's a way to recover them from your phone. Got you. But they may not be held. There are certain carriers that don't even keep text messages, and I won't tell you who those people are, but they don't keep them. We can't even get our hands on them because they don't have a database. They won't pay the money. They're stored on your stuff and your stuff only, so that's why we asked for it. And some of those things disappear in 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, unless we ask for them to keep them. And sometimes we don't know in time, so that's why we do it too. Okay? So just it's a question because it's also would provide potentially a motive for what Chris did if he found out that you had another boyfriend. And why would he kill his family because I have a boyfriend? Well, he wigs out that he finds out that you have a boyfriend and just loses it altogether. Do you understand? Because he's already losing his wife and now his new girlfriend has another boyfriend and he can't. There's multiple reasons why it was a concern that his cheese slid off his cracker. So sad. I don't know. He's like not even the same. I look at those like mugshots and it's like they're scary. They scare me. Yeah. And now Tim goes in there. Kobach tells, starts talking to Tim and he just says, Tim. And Tim says, that's what you said about that video too. It didn't. I had noticed I would have been a wreck. Nicole, I don't know. I mean, I volunteered with some guys for when I did the military stuff that they had PTSD and they were telling me when they went through trauma that they like kind of locked up. So like I didn't even think it was like the fact that he was calm that freaked me out. No, Nicole's talking about Chris's eyes, and she says it was like that part didn't because I was like I've seen there's these guys that have been in a battle and that I've worked with that are like, yeah, I've experienced this. It's like how I handled my trauma. And they're like very like just like kind of like zombies. But so I didn't hold that against him. It was just like his eyes. They're just the light in is gone from his eyes. And then Tim tells her, so let me just finish just with a couple of quick questions here. But besides the obvious, and what he's done, what's the worst thing about this guy? Did you ever have just some sense? You seem to be pretty together with who you date, the people hang out around with. You seem to know a lot about people. Was there some impression he gave you that he was negative the whole time? Like the whole time we were together? Yeah, the anything negative that sticks out? I didn't think anything negative. I mean, like, I have a preference. Like, I thought he was like, I don't want to use the word clingy because that's fucked up. He was a lot more into me than I was into him. And it didn't make the entire time. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed his company though. I mean, enough so that I kept everything going despite the situation. And I mean, like, it didn't scare me or anything. It's just like, I don't know. I don't move that fast. Okay. So I think things were moving. What were his long-term plans with you? What did he discuss with you? Like, I mean, we like bullshit about it every once in a while and be like, oh yeah, like I'd asked him, I was like, if you didn't have this big house, because he didn't want to live in it. And he had made it very clear he didn't pick that out. He didn't. None of that. I was like, well, if you could have a house that you wanted, what would your house look like? And he would tell me, like, I wanted a little ranch home. Like, it doesn't need all these floors, just a few bedrooms, enough space for my kids, maybe some property so they can run around, like stuff like that. Two-car garage, maybe three. Put old sports car in there because he liked cars, stuff like that. I tell him, I'm like, I'm simple too. So if you end up doing that and we end up staying together, let's do it. But it was never like, sell your house, let's go and buy a house. Like it was very, he ever say anything about getting married to me? Yeah. I mean, with it was like a thing where it was like offhandedly, like one day maybe this will happen. But again, it was like I did not take these very like deep conversations. It was like, this was like, we're gonna get married. This is what's gonna go on. It was calm. Okay. And you knew him for how long? Briefly. In total, just not even dating him. But I mean, when were you first aware of him? How long? I don't know, probably the beginning of June or maybe May. So, like 2.5, 3 months tops. I mean, this is all like really fresh. Like, all of this is compounded into like a very small time frame. Very quick. Yes. He worked for the company for a while?
Yeah, I don't know how long. I want to say like 5 or 6 years off the top of my head, but I don't know. But did he supervise people? Do you know anything about that? Yeah, kind of. So he was an operator. And the way the operators are set up at Anadarko was they have operator one, operator two, and operator three. But then each operator is like broken down into like the basic guy, the medium guy, and like the foreman. And then it starts all over again. So he is still on level one of the operators, but he's like the top dog on the level one of the operators. Okay, the whole time you known him, in 2 or 3 months, did he ever complain of anything, any medical issues whatsoever? Or did you ever pick up anything? Is he allergic to anything? Does he have any, special diet? Anything that's messing with him physically? No, not that I'm aware of, not at all. Okay, how about psychologically? Did you ever think there's something wrong with this guy? I mean, was it I wouldn't have dated him if I did. He honestly, I mean, maybe because I thought he was like one of the like most laid back and like decent men I'd ever met. And I just haven't met a lot of people like that. But I mean, no, not up until all of this started happening. Then I was like, whoa, you are not the person that I thought you were. But prior to that, no, no, not at all. Okay. I really didn't I enjoyed his company. You think he was dating anyone else? No. No way? No. Okay. He was way too invested in that.
The relationship pretty was it sexual right off the bat? Pretty close. I mean, like once we got it to be like we were hanging out outside of work, yeah. I mean, it wasn't like immediately, but shortly following that, yes. And then it just continued. Okay. Pretty consistently throughout the relationship. So kind of hot and heavy. You mentioned that maybe you guys were sending some photos back and forth. What kind of photos is he sending you? Well, see, he would send me like workout photos, stuff like that. He sent me a couple of inappropriate pictures. I did not request those. I didn't even want them. I was just like, why do men do this? What were they? Of his package. And I was just like, okay, cool. Like his face and everything, or just no, no, no. Okay. No, that's it. But I think he only did that like one time. It was just like I don't even really want this, but usually he would just send me pictures, like workout pictures, like progress picture stuff. And I was just kind of I'd keep him up to date, like, cause he had some like fitness goals in mind, so I would kind of like trying to help him out with that. Okay. When was the last time you guys were intimate? Saturday. Was that the Broncos game? Uh-huh. Where would that have taken place? At my house. When went to go pick you up before heading up to he didn't pick me up. We drive my vehicle. But yeah, prior to and immediately following afterwards. So it was just like so when he dropped you back off, he came to my house. You did. It happened, and then we went out to dinner and he came back to my house and it happened again and then he left. Okay. Any other stressors in his life besides finances and that he mentioned and his wife? I mean, just the fact that she just doesn't like let him openly communicate. I mean, but other than that, no. I mean, nothing that I really know of. I mean, we didn't like dive super deep into that stuff. It was just like occasionally there'd be a conversation where it would come up. And I mean, he wasn't even really information that he wanted to provide. It was like just like me being curious. Like, why are you separating from her? This is good to know, you know? Or like, what are your finances? Like, in case I end up building a life with you. But it was usually me like doing the inquiries, but I used to try not to be like super invasive about that stuff. Mm-hmm. What are in your mind again, just real quick, what are the things that really pop out to you that he would complain about in his wife? just that she didn't listen to him. She like never listened to him. She always just kind of like shut him up. Oh, and he told me once that she used to like kind of like talk shit to him in front of the kids, and his kids were starting to repeat it. Did he give you an example? Yeah, she said what she did say is he said that she tried to ask for something and asked her for a question. I don't know, something like that. He said he didn't dive super deep into it. This was like pretty early on, and she told him to shut up and that he didn't know anything, and his kids started like repeating it, and he said that it made him really sad, and he realized that that's when he needed to separate from her. So, and he never, though he said she was a good mom. Yeah, I mean, he never complained about her being like a bad mom or a neglectful or anything like that. Abusive, anything like that. Nothing, nothing. When it comes to like violence or anger, any of that, nothing. I mean, and he even said like, yeah, like so she kind of like gets bossy with me sometimes, but as far as like arguing back and forth, he's like that never happens. He's like we don't fight like that. So, I don't know. He seemed pretty like even with that stuff. So, I don't know. And just did they talk about how they disciplined their kids at all? I never asked. I felt like that was not my place. And he never mentioned it. Nope. That's all I was just making sure nobody else. What time is it? I bet it's so late. It's 8 o'clock. Damn. Yeah, it's time to go. You have my card. Well, things will probably come to your mind in the next day, week, month, year, especially as you get some sleep and recover here. Please don't hesitate to call me. My email's on there. You can email me. The business phone number on there is not accurate. I used to work in Pablo's office until. So what is it? Just call my phone, my cell. I'm never in the office anyways. Okay, my cell phone will always be the same. So just call my cell phone. And I will respond to you as soon as I can. If you need to send me an email again, you can send an email to me, okay? If I can help you in any way with some services to deal with the obvious trauma that you face, let me and I'll get you in touch with the people that can help you. Also, if you have an issue with anybody intimidating you in any fashion, I will tell you right now, I have zero tolerance for that. Zero. I will charge anybody if I can prove it. I will take them straight to jail, period. Thanks. You're not a suspect in anything. You're merely a witness. Unfortunately for you, you met a man who did some terrible things, and I won't stand for it. I through my career period, zero tolerance. You will go straight to jail. You call me immediately and I will handle it. I appreciate that. Okay. And finally, you probably eventually are going to get media inquiries. What are you thinking this is going to happen? I don't think it's going to happen soon. I really don't. I will tell you today that there was an inquiry from a media member requesting to know if there was other people involved in Chris's life. I think they're fishing the story they're searching, but there's only a multiple couple of a time reasons that somebody would think what would cause this, and well they're seeing the financial stuff, they're posting it, right, and I'm seeing it. So I think they're buffering for you for a couple of reasons. I told you today I did not see an affidavit. I don't think your name was mentioned in it. There's no reason for it. I don't think at this time for his arrest when the affidavit becomes public, which I think they mentioned maybe early next. That'll keep the media busy for a while. And then her dad gets involved. Oh, so her name wasn't in that, you think? Kobach, I don't think your name was in it. Now, NK. Mark said he didn't publish that thing yet. And then Kobach, right. NK. So if he hasn't, and then Kobach, So I talked to Mark this morning and I know he has not written a report. Now, I do know that he did talk to the people yesterday just regarding her because it was important for some of the things we were doing yesterday. Again, I don't think your name appears in that report. But don't hold me to that. I didn't write the affidavit, but a form, from what I know, it doesn't. So at some point, this your name is gonna come out. I mean, there's just no way it's not. And like I told you, I won't. So when do you think that is? Like when we take this to trial? Um, like at what point? Because nobody knows about this. Right, but Chris does. Yeah, I don't think he's in any rush to tell the media anything. I mean, maybe. These are mitigators that he in his mind or why, and you got a phone call from the public defender office. Whether you talk to them or not, that's your business. I did not. You didn't? I did not. Oh, I thought you did. I did not. Hmm. I didn't know what to do. Mark said to ask you what to do. Okay, so did they reach out to you? Yep. Okay, so you can't, it's your decision. You don't have to talk to them or you can. I won't say either way. You have to make that decision for yourself. I don't know what to do. I feel like if I talk to them, they're either going to try to like find some holes in my story or try to get me to like be Chris's only ally, and I don't really feel like dealing with either of one of those. Then I think you made up your mind. Yeah, I don't want to. So then maybe confide in your father. No, that's we're talking about that. Yeah. We already talked. I can't really give you legal advice. They have every reason to want to talk to you. Just like if they got to you before I did, I would want to talk to you too. You understand what I mean. And I won't hamper with their investigation is or anything. They want information too. Certainly. They have a client that they're trying to protect and make sure that everything that we're looking at is the same thing that they would want to look at. And then her dad gets involved. But they can get it from you, Kobach. They will get it from us, her dad. So, Kobach, it'll be in the discovery. They'll get it. Everything that we've talked about here, the dad. It's in the discovery. We have Kobach. And that's so when that happens, which is pretty short order, the reports that will be generated, everybody involved in this case will be sent to the public defender's office. I think at that time you might find that there could be some exposure for you. So I am not going to tell anybody who you are. If somebody called me today, I don't talk to the media. I don't have any business talking to the media. Mark has no business talking to the media. They don't need to talk to they don't need to know who you are. It's your part in this is not related to anything they need to know the story. For me, it is nothing that they need to know. And I don't ever give information to anybody. And then the dad just says, "Okay." Now, NK says, they're going to dwell on it though. They're going to try to use this as his why. I don't think it's his why. I really don't. That's why I asked you that question. You know, cuz you think his why is financial. Yeah. And whether or not we will know what his why is, I don't know. Did he tell you guys what his why was? I can't tell. Discuss it with you. So then her dad says, so just a quick question, an open question. The way the legal system runs is it's totally confesses and pleads guilty. Is there a reason for a trial or do they just pack enough discoveries together that this proves what he said and so the purpose of that was Kobach. Now her dad. And he goes to a kind of court and it's done or go back. The purpose for discovery is we have to We're obligated by law to share everything that we know with the public defender or private attorney. The dad. Absolutely right. Okay. Go back. It doesn't go the other way. They don't have to share anything with us, so we are obligated to give them everything we have, no matter what. I can tell you right now, probably sometime early this week will be his, he's going to enter a plea. Either I'm guilty or not guilty. That will probably be sometime Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this coming week. I would imagine from what I heard today. Now, it might be a little more delayed and then that starts the legal process. So and now her dad again. But if he pleads guilty though, and then go back, if he pleads guilty, it could happen today. Certainly, I mean, he can go to his attorney. You've seen it happen before. And he pleads guilty. In that information still available, absolutely. But there's still got to be a legal process. And then her dad says, mm-hmm. And then go back. Regarding is he's competent to stand for he can make that plea. His attorneys are going to allow him to do so. Her dad again. All of this stuff. Go back. You know what I'm talking about. Her dad. Yep. Okay. Go back. So that all that information still goes to them. And then that would play into, potentially what is the sentence? What could be the penalty of all these things have to be looked at by his attorneys. So there is not them ever getting her name. It's gonna be there at some point. And I don't know. I understand your fear. And that's why I told you that if anybody, I don't care if somebody calls you and says, anything minor, you call me and let me know, please. I won't. I appreciate that. That was NK. I will not stand for that, okay? Well, and then it just says that it doesn't understand what the hell she's saying. Her dad says, so it would be the news people would be the only ones that, and of course they already know what to, and then go back. No, I'm sorry, this is NK. God work is gonna be such a mess too. That's gonna be like a whole nother level. Like everybody at my work I heard was so like just damaged and broken today. And then it's like, let's just add a Nikki into this whole mix. It's not gonna be good for all of their like mentally either. Just gonna be a mess. And then her dad says, maybe your employer could transfer you to another business, Kobach. I think that's a fair state. I will tell you right now that Anadarko has been very, very helpful with us and is very concerned about their employees in this event. I'm tired too. I tried, but you may, your employer, it's your employer, definitely, has an indication of your relationship with Chris, I would think. And then NK, they're not my employer. Go back. Oh, that's right. You work for a different company. Yeah, but. And then her dad, but. And then NK, you're saying. And then go back. I think. And then NK, Anadarko has a knowledge of it. And then go back. Well, maybe. And then NK, who are you talking about, Tasman or Anadarko? Go back. I don't even know what Tasman is. Tasman is the people that cut my check, and I'm contracted out to APC. So I think people have suspicion that there's a relationship with Chris. Not saying you, but they may know that. I think there's some suspicion that he was having a relationship with somebody. Not you or your name specifically, but if you want your bosses, I have an issue that I don't, like your dad saying, I think that you might find that they'll just get you out of there. And then her dad gets involved. See, that's what we are talking about today, because they probably have a policy for psychological health. They probably have a policy for people bugging other employees. And that's a big company with a lot of HR, and then go back. Do you have employee assistant program, EAP? And you guys, it may sound like weird how I'm reading it, but that's how it's written. So I'm just reading it how it's written on here. NK. I don't oh yeah, that's where they're all there. Yeah, that's today. But it's like I got so many calls today from people I work with. Those are questions that you can ask them anonymously and that information is retained. Her dad. See, that's what I was saying because if, and then NK. So what am I supposed to do? Tell my boss? Her dad. What? Well, no, but that's your boss. He isn't going to want rumorous, he is not going to want all of these people stressing you out. They're not going to wait or want. They don't want erratic workflow. They don't want any of that. So they'll probably do a broadcast letter of anybody that was friends, acquaintances of, and then NK. They already did. They already dealt with all of that stuff today. And then her dad says, or anything else, please respect the employee's feelings. And right there, oh, and by the way, if any of you have a problem, you can call Mickey Mouse at, and that's probably, and then NKC, but they'll probably have a policy with that. Here's the problem though, and I'm hoping that they do. I don't work for them, but they still can protect you under that. But if they like transfer me, like they're gonna be like, you're not even our employee. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm about to lose my job over this. No, no, you're not gonna. Why would you lose your job? I don't know, because I feel like people are just going to complain about being uncomfortable with working with me. Like I'm not going to have respect. I'm not going to have anybody's respect there. I think I'll have like two people that still, you really didn't do anything wrong. I had an affair with a married man who lied to me and made me believe that he really wasn't like as married as I think he was. But the media is not going to be so kind to let everybody know that. I think people are going to think I'm like the reason that he went off the deep end. And then her dad said, "Well, when," and then go back. That's probably a fair statement. I would probably agree with you to some effect, but if these people, at work, then and the company will protect you at some point, her dad. The company will buffer that as much as they can because if not, it'd be chaos amongst employees and they can't have that. I'm just so sad. Like this is like it's just not good in their best interest. That's her dad saying that. It's the job, all the jobs I've ever had in my life. I fucked it up. That's all she cares about, dude, is her job. And then her dad says, "Well, she been out in the field. What, you been home 3 months of the year on an average? Not even. It's stagger amount out in the middle of nowhere on an oil rigs. This little thing was out hanging on oil rigs and now they got her in an environmental where she's able to clean up stuff. Right. And it's a hot job, man. It's just a hot job. And I mean, would you advise me? I wouldn't start. Talking to like my head higher up, I can't even give you legal advice. But the best thing to do on that is talk to your EAP, whoever the employee assistant people are. They're anonymous and they know all your HR rules. They know all your policies and procedure stuff. And how can I imitate this? And then Kovac goes on to say, and also, your problem too is not just it's this gonna be environment where you can't work. So you have to call those people and say, I don't want this to happen. So how do we take care of it? I want to continue to work for you guys. I love my job. Whatever. Just be proactive. I don't know. Your boss is on site? Yeah, she's pretty cool. I don't know. I think that's a personal decision you have to make. And then her dad, yeah, but I don't think. And then her, yeah, I mean, I didn't even think about talking to them at all, but I keep thinking about them like, man, where are my name? My name's gonna get out in the news. This is about to get crazy. Her dad says, no. And then she says, like, I had people call me all day. Like, my office mate would not shut up. She just called me today and she was like, oh my God, did you read this article and this article? And what did you think? And oh my God. And then on this, I'm just like, I don't want to talk about this. Please leave me alone. And like, it was really overwhelming. And my project manager called me and he's really chill. So we made it a very quick conversation, but some people just like didn't get it. And it's just so hard for me because I feel like I would get in front of it. I'm like lying to them. I'd get in front of. So pretty much it just goes on right here. She's just complaining and moaning about, her job. And she's like, maybe I'll just tell them to let me come in like at 5 in the morning and she'll just check the monitors. And then, she can do the rest at home. And then it says that she's like, my name is going to get released in the media and there's a lot of stuff tied to me that's tied to. And then Kobach says, I don't know if I do that in that fashion. I might, just need to figure a tactful way to do that. And perhaps in employment, there's an attorney that can deal with employment law, he tells her. Um, he also says that it's a decision that, she might need to make or might want to talk to someone for that works in the EAP. And then finally, that ends that part of me reading. Thank you, Jesus. Oh my God, are you guys still here with me? I have a headache from reading that. I'm not even lying to you guys. I wasn't planning on reading the whole thing, but as I was reading it, I have forgotten what it said, and I was just like blown away by a lot of it. And I think that is so important, the information I just read to you guys, because a lot of people don't take the time to read the discovery or these transcripts. They only listen to audio, so a lot of people might not even know about this missing part. So I guess I will take one for the team and embarrass myself by reading it and pretending I was Kobach and NK. So I hope you guys enjoyed that part. I hope you guys all got a good laugh. And just know the way I was reading it is how it was written. So I know I sounded kind of funky reading it and But now I'm going to go ahead and play the rest of the audio of NK's interview. This is where it picks up the audio again. So that whole part I just read was everything that didn't make it to the recorder. So again, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Now let's listen to the rest of it.
Just on the media we'll stuff, work on that. Yeah, I think you've got a grip on that. On the media stuff, for you, I wouldn't talk to the media. Just tell them you don't have any comment, and for you, probably the same. And if they just persist, maybe put somebody. It seems like your dad is your biggest confidant here, and maybe make a brief statement. If my daughter doesn't want to say anything, have a nice day, whatever. Because if you appease them a little bit, sometimes they'll go away. That would just be my suggestion. Don't talk to them. You don't need to.
I'm not going to. I guess they're going to make their own assumptions.
So does your neighbor. So does the guy. As soon as they figure out who you are, they're going to talk to your neighbor, and they're going to say, "Oh yeah, I saw Chris, and her together, whatever." You know what's going to happen. Just prepare yourself, and then it won't be.
Are they going to swarm my house?
I don't think so.
No, they were like swarming his. He told me that there's media everywhere. And it's just like, I hope that does not happen to me. I mean, I have a safe house in Denver that I can go to, that I have the keys to, that has nobody there
ever. That's what we're thinking for the next couple
all I have to do is check the mail, and there's no questions asked, and nobody knows where it is, and I'm not telling anybody, but it's like a really nice spot for me to hide out, and I don't have any friends in that building. I mean, it's an apartment, but
we will answer your phone calls, but the safe house is from
the safe house.
People banging on her apartment door.
When should I go there? When do you think all this is going to start happening? I mean,
okay, why does it sound right there that she has a smile on her face? Like, does she think this is an effing joke?
Safe house is from
the safe house.
People banging on her apartment door.
When should I go there? When do you think all this is going to start happening? I mean, it's kind of.
I mean, might be just good for you to go there anyways, for your sanity, and stay away from this place that you had a connection to this man with, and get your thoughts in order.
It's so sad. That was my nest. That was like such a warm little place.
That was your.
Now it's like I haven't even slept in my bed. I've just been sleeping on the couch with the dog. I don't even want to do it.
What other questions can we answer before we go? I don't foresee talking to you again regarding this now, and the attorney can go, hey, can you ask her another question? And that would be a long ways down the line. I don't think there's anything else. I let you talk for a long time today to get it all out. So we don't have to do this again, because I don't want to traumatize you again. But if there is important things that come up, please know that I do want to talk to you about those. Other things that we haven't talked about today, or if something just, I got to tell them, just call me.
I mean, like, some things I thought were really important, like the other day, like, I didn't mention the wedding ring thing, and then I was like, that was really creepy. I should probably tell them about that. And you got those cards. I gave you those cards.
So you gave me cards and there was clothing in there.
Yeah, I don't care what you do with it all. I just don't want
clothing, was any of the clothing anything he wore this weekend, or is it stuff that was from...
No. It was, like, stuff that he brought over, like, prior to that.
Okay.
None of that. Like, some of it's been washed and folded since then. Yeah, I just wanted it out of my house and didn't want to throw it away. So...
Okay, so she says she deleted his text messages, even his phone number out of her phone, because she found out Shanann was pregnant and she wanted nothing to do with him. She was so disgusted by him. She didn't want to see anything on her phone from him. So why would she keep his love letters and keep his clothes folded and washed instead of throwing that in the trash? Makes no sense.
Take care of it. We have it. We'll take care of that. If I have questions on the context of a text message, I might just call you and say, what the hell does this mean? Because I might not understand what you were talking about, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
If it's, I'm not going to bother you unless it's really important, because I think I have everything I need from you today.
Okay, yeah, we just wanted to make sure you guys had it so that
Well, and we don't, I
you can
don't
find the right person or something and get it done.
Yeah, and we know we have the right person, and I am sorry that you're involved.
Okay, I want you guys to listen to that part again. Nicole's dad tells Agent Kobach that he wants to make sure that they have the right person to get it done. Meaning he was going to hand over her phone, but make sure the right person is handling it. And then you have Agent Kobach responding. It sounds like he's messing with the speaker in a way, or moving it away from him, and his Agent Kobach's voice goes a little lower to me. I don't know. It sounds kind of like, if I'm going to speculate right here, but it sounds like Agent Kobach doesn't want this on record, but he says, and we know we have the right person. What does that even mean? And who's this right person they're trying to get the phone to? I don't know. This part of the interview just doesn't sound right to me. Keep in mind, too, this was also redacted from the discovery.
I want to make sure you guys had it so that
Well, and we don't, I
you
don't
can find the right person or something and get it done.
Yeah, and we know we have the right person, and I am sorry that you're involved. I am. It's never a good time to say anything like that, but it's a bad deal. This whole thing is, and this is one of the tougher cases that I think I've been doing this a long time. It's tough. So for you, it's even tougher. And don't forget to reach out to somebody for your sanity. Like I asked you downstairs a question and you said no. You remember what question I asked you?
So the audio stopped again. And honestly, you guys, I don't know why it kept stopping. If the recorder, for some reason, just stopped and then they went and got another one, then why did this one stop again? So it makes me feel like if they stopped it for a reason. So that's something you guys should be thinking about. Why is it cutting off? I think they try to remove it, but we still have the transcript. So I'm just going to read it really quick. Now, this is NK. No. You know how many questions you asked me tonight? Her dad says, did you want pizza? Kobach, well, he'll A, and then NK. Pizza? I love pizza. Kobach, well, I want food too.
I asked you if you had any questions. I asked if I should be concerned at all about you hurting yourself. Oh no, I don't feel the need to do that. Right. I just want people to leave me alone. And I just feel like I want to like hide for a little while. All of this is just happening. Just please reach out to your family or even to me. And if you have anything, and if you're struggling, I told you there's people I could put you in touch with that will talk to you. I'm not a psychiatrist, but people sometimes that get caught in these situations, they end up having lots of emotional issues, and you need to address them. Don't just hide that stuff, okay? All right. Are you guys gonna help me if we go? You're super intelligent. So I appreciate that. That's a nice compliment. When we go to like trial for this, if that's what he feels the need to take this to, are you guys gonna help like coach me through these questions? Of course. So we would be there and to rediscuss our conversation today. The conversation you had with Mark, and then an attorney would talk to you prior to any questioning on the stand regarding what kind of question you. And really the only thing that you have to remember, I mean, if you're worried about you recalling anything, you know how you might remember this. Everybody worries about that. Even we do. We spend hours on the stand and it's very difficult. But the only thing you have to remember is tell the truth. And the truth will never change in your mind. You know what happened during these 6 weeks? You know what happened on Monday and Tuesday. And as long as you tell the truth, then there's nothing to be worried about. If you don't remember something, you don't remember it. Might they pick on you a little bit about that? Absolutely. They usually pick on us a lot more than they do you guys. So, but that's so far down the road. I mean, how long are we talking? Like, how long is this whole process going to take? That could be, well, so he has the right to a speedy trial. Once he makes a plea, which is 45 days, do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not. I can tell you that the majority of the homicides that I work on average somewhere between 1 and 3 years. And then NK's dad said, yeah, look at that clown man. NK, so I gotta just deal with the media, like, and then her dad again, with the theater, and then NK, knocking on my door, like, for like 3 years, because that's like enough to go crazy. And then Kobach interrupts her. This case will be hot until the next, unfortunately, crazy case comes up, and then you know it's true. That's true. I don't know if you watch the news. There's a reason I really don't. Every week, her dad says. And NK says, I don't watch American news. Now, Kobach, but if you know there's something new every week, that's the hot topic. This one might be hot for a week, 2, 3, whatever. And then something else is going to happen. And then they're going to forget all about this one until it comes back to court. And then it's going to be revived. If it ever does, I don't know if it. Now, her dad says, so, and go back, he has all sorts of, he could plea. He could say, I want to go to trial. I didn't do this. Whatever. He could say whatever. So it could be tomorrow. It could be 5 years. It just depends. I mean, there's a lot of things that can slow a case down. And then her dad says, yeah, look at that theater thing. I mean, that was a whirlwind for what, a month or so? Sure. To her dad again. And then all of a sudden, as soon as people started figuring out what that guy was all about, all of a sudden they started just like, man, he's weird. He was a psycho. Look at him. And he just kind of just huge. That's a huge event. Then the dad, yeah. Go back. Certainly, and then the dad, but it shows up every 6 months or a year here. Go back, sure. And then the dad, go back. I mean, you look at it, there's no way to know that. Okay. But if, like your dad's saying, like on that guy was sent to the state hospital for evaluation, and that takes a long time. And that can draw out cases, even if there's evaluations. There's all sorts of things that can come to play that really don't worry about. I put this thing out of your mind as much as you can, and when the time comes, if it ever does, that you have to testify, you will be in good hands. Well, take care of you. The attorneys handling this case are gonna, and then it says you can't understand what it says, and then it just says K. We're almost done, you guys. Thank you, Jesus. Now her dad just says, okay, and then NK. So, I don't, and go back. And if you have questions that you just call me. And then her dad again. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna talk to the other side from what we were discussing. And then NK, I don't. Her dad. They can get the discovery from you guys and then NK again. I don't want to deal with him anymore, her dad. It's the last thing. And then NK, Mark already said he's like he might try to call you. I think I'm gonna just ignore that. And then go back, who? NK, Chris. I don't know if he will try to call me. I hear, did they find those little girls yet? I don't know. They've been looking for them. First of all, didn't NK just say a little while ago that Chris's lawyer tried to call her? And now she's saying, what if he does? Go back. We don't know. And they thought or they knew where they were at? You don't know yet? I don't. Because you've been in here with me. Right. Oh my God. And then her dad. I find the whole thing very weird. If they close, as much as you told me that he was as normal as he was, but yet some very close friend would call within a couple of hours of her not answering the door? Or what was it? Well, I think she was like on meds or something. Like, so I think she wasn't concerned about Chris. That again. But to call the police within just like the same day and yet he acted normal on this end, that is weird. Yeah. There's the two different lives there or something. That was her dad again. Oh, there's definitely two different lives there. That's why sometimes I too like I feel like when he's like, "Well, what did she?" People are like, what did he say about her?" And it's just like I don't even know if I want to say it cuz who knows if that's what really happened. Mhm. That was Kovac. I mean, maybe or maybe not, her dad. Molly called me back, so we'll call her from and then I don't know who Molly is. That's a good question. Now, NK. Okay, I think I might need to approach Anadarko. I really don't want to go to work tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to just take the week off and then we can sort things out on the weekend. And then I can like reach out to my supervisor or EAP or whatever. Yeah, you need a little sleep and some time. That was Kobach. Oh, sorry, that was her dad. And then Kobach says, yeah, you definitely need some sleep. Don't drive tonight. And then NK says something, but it can't pick it up. And then Kobach said something, but it doesn't pick it up. And then it just says that Kobach said, I'm gonna shut this off. And then her dad says, and then it shut off, and we don't know what the rest of that audio was about. Very interesting because they still were talking.
So that's going to wrap up the video. Who knows what was being said after they stopped recording, and this whole thing being cut off so many times leads me to be like thinking, what were they trying to hide from us? So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can't believe I just did this, but I did it all for you guys because this needs to be put out there, what she was saying, because I think in this part where the audio isn't recording is the most important things that have come out of her mouth. So again, I'll talk to you guys all later. Enjoy the rest of your day and bye.